I think everybody that gets on water, around water, loves it. There's something about it.
I think it's almost innate in humans to enjoy looking at water.
People really feel connected to water. It's very spiritual for a lot of people.
Many times I'm fishing on the lake, I see boaters, I see jet skiers and such, and then I also see an osprey come down and eat. You know, so everybody's enjoying the lake at the same time.
But the part that I like the best is all the family life. All the kids are now enjoying the lake. This is what the lake's all about, family and friends. And we've made fantastic friends on this lake that are lifetime friends with us.
You know, the morning, the sunrise, and you know, the beautiful sunset. I almost take it for granted anymore a little bit, but then I kind of reel myself in every now and then and say, take this all in. It's beautiful, the colors of the trees, the sunrise.
Nature influences me on a huge scale. I love to try to capture water, including water that's just about freezing.
I mean, we've got it all here. We really do. We're lucky. We're lucky to have that.
Well, I grew up here, as did my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, and as far back as we can remember. And so the lakes and the woods and the wetlands are part of our DNA here.
Several years ago, a neighbor made a statement to me that he said, you're either putting water on somebody or somebody's putting water on you. If you owned any type of property at all, and if you get to thinking about it, it's true.
Everything's connected in the watershed. What runs off at one area of a farmer's field or a business or a property owner's pollutes some stream or some lake.
The biggest threat to lakes in this region of northeast Indiana are non-point source pollution, typically from runoff from ag fields, from parking lots, from lawns that produces high concentrations of nutrients.
The more nutrients there are, the more algae that can grow in the water. So you need some algae growth in a lake to support a healthy ecosystem. But as with so many things, a little bit is good, a lot isn't. And the trick is finding that sort of balance.
And so as you get more plants and algae, they can really grow a lot or have a bloom. So when they die, they just decompose in the lake. And that adds more organic matter. So those weeds and algae start filling in the lake as the sediment comes in and continues filling in the lake. So as a lake goes through a process of eutrophication or aging, it will basically turn into a wetland.
And it's basically aging the lake a lot faster than it should.
The cleanliness of the lake is what really disturbs me terrifically. I mean, I tell stories that there's a hole over there that when I was a kid, the divers from the Navy were looking for a plane that got lost. It was 178 feet deep, and you can find maps around here that showed 178 feet deep. Today, the depth finder reads 128 feet, so it's filled with silt. I still think the biggest challenge we've got is education of the landowners and property owners in the watershed, of what they can do to preserve and protect the lakes.
Yeah, so a big part of our farming practices has been the adaptation of no-till to our cropping system.
We never till soil anymore at all.
The reason behind the no-till is if you've got water running off your fields, and it can carry soil with it, and that's where if you got nutrient loading going into your ditches, streams, and lakes, that's where a lot of it comes from, is the soil itself, the water carrying the soil out. So the whole idea with no tillage is you don't disturb that soil, you keep the residue on here, and it keeps it all from going downstream, essentially.
With our soil health initiative, we're encouraging continuous no-till planting, continuous cover crops, buffer practices, and then the other thing that we encouraging is a high level of nutrient and pest management on the farms. If we can get those key things on our farms, we'll go a long way toward protecting water quality, and not only that, improving the health of the soil, the farmer's factory, for them. So we improve their bottom line, plus we protect water quality in our streams and in our lakes.
In our area, clean, healthy lakes and streams are important for our economy and for the community. There's a quality of life that comes with having beautiful places to visit, wetlands, lakes, streams that you can kayak, canoe, go for a walk and visit.
If it wasn't for the lakes in this county, many of the businesses, including mine, would not be here. As you go down the streets of our community, just about every business depends on people who are here in order to enjoy the lakes, both from their serenity and from their recreational standpoint.
If the water quality isn't good and there's not good fishing, or there's too many weeds and you can't run a boat through it, then those people won't be coming up. So it's important that we do everything we can to, keep the lakes pure.
Whether they be farmers or whether they be property owners or businesses, just to make sure they do the right things around water to protect it. And I didn't realize at the time how little I knew about what happened in the watershed. It's a shame. Wish I'd known more as a kid. Nobody consciously wants to destroy the lakes, but mankind has a habit of doing things that we don't know are wrong at the time. Until somebody tells us we're not, we do them wrong, and we speed the death of a lake. The Watershed Foundation is trying to make sure people don't.
We've been looking at some of the stream analysis that have been coming through, and what we've found is actual evidence that some of our farmers who are working with no-till techniques, excellent agricultural practices, including allowing a buffer zone of wildflowers and so forth to grow on their fields, have actually been preventing the flow of nutrients into the streams. As we look at data connected directly next to those farms, adjacent to them, we have seen almost no nutrients. That is an excellent sign that their techniques are working. And it's nice that we can actually tell them, hey, your efforts are paying off.
The great news is that 9 of the 10 sites we have monitored over the last 15 years have improved water quality. So we can tell that the work that we're doing with many partners, not just us, but all of the work in conservation is making a difference in our water quality.
People don't realize how fragile of an ecological system that everything plays off each other. When any of this is out of balance, it takes years and years for it to recuperate. We can do mechanical things to fix it, but that's not the answer. The answer is preserving what we have and teaching everyone on how precious and how fragile what we have around us is.
It's much like the idea that an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure.
We have some very beautiful lakes. I mean, if you look at the map of Indiana and these few counties around us sitting right here, we're very fortunate to have the water we have, and I think there's like 86 lakes in this county alone with public access. And a lot of it's to do with the Tippy watershed, and it's all a formulation of working together and making this all work for everybody.
Our main focus is stopping pollution at its source before it gets to any ditch, wetland, or lake. Clean water is important for all life. We can't survive without clean water. Everyone lives in a watershed, and you can have a positive impact or a negative impact on what's flowing off your property. And there's simple things that you can do, everyone can do, just to make a difference and keep our water safe, clean, and healthy for now and for the future.